All right, still with me, criminal defense attorneys and former prosecutors, Franz Borghardt and David Bruno. Franz, I'll start with you. We'll start right there. Quite frankly, I don't even know where to start. With that particular case, $20 million bond. Basically, prosecutors said 3 kids, that's why. I mean, that's a lot. Your quick thoughts on this case?
Kind of feels low.
Yeah.
You know, and look, in my day job, I'm a criminal defense attorney. It feels like a low bond for this. And in a lot of states, he'd be held without bond. So, I mean, 20 million, 2 million, it's probably no different for him, but it definitely sends a message. The court definitely has sent a message with a $20 million bond, and he's going to be sitting in jail until his trial.
You know what's interesting, David, in this one, and I could not believe this, you know, you can, I guess you can conceive on some level if someone snaps and does this. But when you hear that, he says, and they're picking him up, he was just sitting calmly next to his gun on his steps waiting for the cops to come. It makes no sense. But he says, David, that he was planning this out for months. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I come away with the same thing. I mean, first thing I think of when a dad like this kills 3 kids execution style is some level of insanity or mental defense. But when you hear about the deliberation, the planning, the premeditated nature of the killing, it just goes right against that insanity that you did not know your actions were wrong, or that you had a disease or defect that prohibited you from forming the mens rea that's required in our statutes. The fact is, if that's true and the prosecutor has evidence of premeditation, then it's going to destroy any possible defenses, and then he'll be in jail for the rest of his life, no doubt.
Absolutely. Now, Granddad said he thought he might have snapped. He doesn't know if it was financial or mental. But, Franz, what do you make of the fact that he also had a little daughter? Okay, the daughter was seen running down the road saying, "Daddy's trying to kill everybody, help me." He has a wife. She tries to stop him, ends up getting shot. But he clearly was targeting the boys. So that's got to say something. Does that work towards some sort of mental defense or against it?
So, again, insanity is the inability to distinguish between right and wrong. A mental defect might be an obstacle to the prosecution claiming specific intent, which may mean a lesser murder charge, right, or a manslaughter charge. The problem here is, even if he's specifically targeting one, if he articulates, "I've been planning this for X amount of time," it's not an inability to distinguish between right and wrong. Now, murderers generally have mental defects that don't rise to the level of defenses. So I don't know what his defense team is. The problem is, every time he opens his mouth, it closes and locks a doorway to a defense, which is unfortunate for him, but maybe good for the state.
Yeah, and again, like you said, clearly there's probably something wrong with this guy, but does it rise to the level of some kind of mental defect defense is the question. All right, gentlemen, stand by. Still ahead, folks.